create your personal brand. What is important now is to move to create that personal, powerful personal brand and to show us how we do it. Well, keep your questions coming. We have two amazing facilitators. Dipika Singh, who after 15 years in marketing, leading brands such as India Today, Cox and Kings, Kingfisher Airlines, Dipika chose to do what she always excelled at and had a passion for: training and inspiring people to be the best version of themselves, both personally and professionally. She offers very practical tips, nuggets of learning, and inspiring stories that help people learn to create more impact through better communication, body language, confidence, and most importantly, looking well put together. A sari brand ambassador, I should say. She rocks in her videos and she's known by her brand. She means business and creates bite sized learning content across her social media handles. Joining Dipika is Aarti Narang, our brand specialist as well for the SHEmantra Fest, the founder and CEO of Brand My Style, passionate about designing distinctive, authentic, and brilliant brand stories. Her job is to make you and your work shine by delicately branding your brand style, uniqueness, trends, and representing it with a strong brand projection. She specializes in CEO branding and branding of personalities. Besides this, she also creates amazing brand stories for startups. Aarti believes online reputation management is the key to faster conversion and results in business in today's digital times. Some of her clients have been celebrities representing India internationally, high profile CEOs, authors, philanthropists, coaches, speakers, international diplomats, and even an IPS officer who's an Iron Man. Aarti is also faculty with Global Wedding Academy, Wiz MIME, and a branding mentor with Womencoaches, a startup incubation for women entrepreneurs. So, over to you, ladies. We are all ears as you lead us through Elevate Your Personal Brand.
Thank you so much, Rashmi. That was such a lovely introduction. Hi, everyone. This is a session on personal branding, and Aarti and I are really looking forward to it. Aarti is first going to take you through some very, very interesting and fantastic principles on branding. I'm going to come in next and share with you 3 tasks. If you do those tasks over the next couple of weeks, you will elevate your personal brand. Over to you, Aarti.
Thank you, Dipika, and thank you, Rashmi, for the warm welcome and the amazing introduction. Well, today has been an amazing new day, and it was so wonderful to hear our speakers this morning. I think this fest, that entire design of the fest, from learning ourselves, learning more about ourselves, of course, through self-love, loving others, setting boundaries, and not only that, we also learned from our amazing speakers last evening, about relationships. And it's not just about us, but taking it forward. We've learned a lot about love. And today we're going to take you through the learning process. This morning with Dalia, we had an amazing session on playing it big, playing it with a purpose. And what a fabulous session by Alok. I really loved his nuggets of the belief of being there and taking yourself as a rare diamond. You are a solitaire. We take this rare, the aspect of you being rare, further to how you will brand yourself and take your business to the next level so that you can lead the new reality you want to create. So let's start with today's session on how you will elevate your brand. Right. So my promise to you is that if you apply at least 3 ideas from this session, you will definitely be able to stand out and be memorable. You will also learn how to attract premium business. Now that you know that you've got to own your value and you are rare, now it's time for you to attract premium business. How will you do that? How will you speed your conversions? We'll take you through that. And yes, you will expedite your results. That's my promise if you apply the ideas we share here. So how will personal branding be a game changer for you? You want it to be a game changer, right? Are you ready? Fire this chat box. Let me know you are ready. With a yes. Are you ready? Superb. So let's begin. Let's build the foundation of your brand. What's the foundation? We will take you through this quick thing. Let's say you go to visit an Apple store and you want to buy the latest Apple 14 Pro. Now, you've selected the model, you purchased it, but you go to the store and when you pay for it, the salesperson or the person at the counter just packs it in his bag and just gives you the Apple phone and says, hey, this is your phone. Would you like it? No, I'm sure not. But what if he takes the phone, puts it in a very beautiful gift packaging box and gives it to you and says, hey, congratulations on your new phone. This is going to be an exciting journey with the new phone. You will like it, right? But what if when you go back home and you find that in this box, instead of your Apple box, they came out some other small phone? Oh, what happened? This is not right. That's, my friend, we are going to talk about that it's just not about packaging, but it's all also about what's inside you. So we will talk about branding, we will talk about packaging, yes, but what's inside of you? What is the real power that you bring, the real value that you bring out to the world? We're going to talk about that also. When you see this image, I'm sure you will say, it looks like a duck. It could be a dog. Well, it looks a mixed breed. But what I'm trying to say over here is, if a brand looks like a duck and swims like a dog, people will distrust it. So when I showed you the analogy of the packaging, and you go to buy a brand new phone, but you get something else, there's distrust. However, if we build it with a stronger trust, the brand will prosper and each of your clients will become your brand ambassadors. Now, just as we have taken this box and we've gone out to buy at the Apple store, we've gone to purchase the iPhone. It's with what feelings the end user or the customer or the person feels at the end, at every point, that also is very important. So evoking the right feelings with every touch point is a very important task. Now, the evoking of feelings and the trust go hand in hand. And why does this happen? Because human beings are emotional, intuitive beings. Our buying decisions are based on emotional, intuitive factors. Hence, the trust aspect in buying is very important. Build a lot of reliability, create a delight. There will be trust that will be built for your brand. So, evoking feelings. I really like the way yesterday Ian Faria mentioned about feelings, but how you make others feel about when you interact. The same goes with the brand. At every interaction, at every point when your brand is interacting with your potential customer, and enable them to feel good, give them a delight. It's not just about being there personally, but even digitally you can. Building trust and authenticity, as I spoke about, what's inside you, the value you give out to the world, that will build in a lot of trust. And now, positioning your brand. How do you position your brand? A very, very important aspect of brand building. Now, let's look at this. We have Lady Diana here. When she was told that she will not be the queen, and in an interview, someone asked her, you will not be the queen now. How does it feel? She says, no, I'm going to be the Queen of Hearts. It was a very well thought strategy for her to project her as the Queen of Hearts. She was very aware of what she was doing. She wanted to be known as the Queen of Hearts. What do you want to be known as? A very classic example is of Mel Robbins. She's known for her 5-second rule. She has created a lot of programs, courses around her book, also around the 5-second rule. She talks about her brand story, that how one day while she was watching the rocket being launched, and she said, if the brain and the mind has an idea, physically move in 5 seconds and you will be able to launch that idea. The point I'm trying to say, she used the story, created a positioning around herself for herself, and she has really become an icon now. Moving into the next slide, I just want to share this with you, that if you are not branding yourself, remember, someone is already branding you. I'd like to read this again, and I want you to really, really take this home, that if you're not branding yourself, someone else is already branding you. The foundation: evoke feelings, build trust and authenticity, position your brand. There are many more elements that go into branding, but I've taken just these 3 things that you can focus on, and I will give you some very strong ideas to build your digital presence. 2 strong ideas: websites and social media, integration of the brand touch points. I will talk a little more about the essentials of the website. And for social media, I will have Dipika touch upon social media, and she will give you some great nuggets around it. Integration of brand points, I will talk about this too, and I will go real quick now. Okay. Website essentials. Project your USP you. Now, how will you bring up that forward? And like, for example, this is one of the SHEmantras who I had the privilege to do the branding for. She totally lives by the adage of selling means to serve. She has her brand a complete match of her online and her offline presence. She lives and she completely commits to over-delivering a lot of value to her people. And she takes that also across to the social platform of social media. Now, how do you get your online and offline a perfect match? You write down the values that you stand for. Create your own personal story. Be there, out there, tear off that mask. If you feel shy, be bold, come out there and be visible, get noticed. Show your uniqueness to leave your mark. Coach Saloni, when she approached me, she said, mine is a startup. I've not done a business. I've just finished my corporate career and now I'm launching myself. I don't have a lot of work to showcase, but we did discover what her strong. So we did discover what her strengths are, and of course we brought up what makes her unique. And she's been known for the clarity that she brings in an uncertain environment. Identify your target audience very clearly, speak to your target audience and communicate your brand promise. Radhika is very, very clear that she works with professionals who want to become CEOs, and she helps them to become purpose-driven CEOs. And this is what we have in the messaging created, incubating purpose-driven CXOs. How will you create your purpose? Write that down, communicate in a prompt, communicate and clarify it to your target audience. Now, the about page. The about page is actually not about you, it's actually about your target audience. How do you craft that? It's very simple. Talk about the benefits that your end user will receive. How will they benefit? How their lives will change? Talking about that is very important. Visuals and imagery play a very, very important role over here. And in visuals and imagery, for example, Nivedita is, this is the brand of value mined. A lot of value being mined. That's the logo they have. However, we were not able to project it in a small logo. So in the image, the very first visual, we've kept the value that lies underneath that needs to be mined inside a person. Your visuals can convey a story. What is the story your visual is creating? We've got to figure out that story and create a story out of a visual. This kind of an image, it evokes a feeling. When you are selecting images, what is the feeling you get? That's a very crucial part. Get a professional photo shoot done, very, very important. Now I'm just going to show you one before and after so that you also have an idea on how a website can truly stand out. This is another SHEmantra who we helped her with the branding here. And this was her website before she came to us. And if you see, this was a second website she made. She positioned herself as a life coach. But when we did the brand discovery, we figured it out that she wanted more. And this is the new website that really brought her US you. The visuals can play such an important role. Not even the clarity coach. The positioning is very important. So this is a great case study for you to go through because you will get a lot of clarity on how to position your brand, and that's very important. I'll take you through. Okay, let me quickly move into the slides back again. Okay, so what are the website essentials? The next one is social proofing. Get in your testimonials in order. Use authentic testimonials to build trust. They will really work. That's how the universe plays it back to us when we use a lot of authenticity. It's very simple to get testimonials, and you can just make a call to the client, ask them questions, transcribe it, send it back to them, get it approved, and it's easier this way to get a testimonial. Sometimes they may take time to write back to you, but that is also a way how you could get testimonials at the easiest. Use your past success to attract bigger success. If you're new, starting new, and you don't have testimonials, go back with whom you've worked with. Take character-based testimonials. With character-based testimonials, is around your personality. Put those testimonials up there. And a very important part is integrating all the brand touch points together. Get your website and social media linked. Make it sync. Make it look one. Get the colors in order. Get the font in place together. Get all your touch points. That is the PowerPoint presentations that you use, be it the email signature block, the certificates, all the stationery. Get all of them all synchronized. And you will see the magic it will do to build a brand recall. Even your Google social reviews, that also ideally should be integrated well to match your brand. People go on Google and they try to find the location. There are reviews over there. So keeping in mind a business Google profile also should be integrated. One more thing. Do not compromise on your brand identity. That I mean the logo. Now, this is a logo that we have done for our very dear Deepa Mahesh, who was one of the speakers yesterday. She's been using this logo since more than 3 years, the first one on the left that you see. However, when we looked at her brand, we said, if you've got a global vision, you've got to have a more modern and a functional logo. And that's what we created for her. Do not compromise on your brand identity. There are many graphic designers, brand strategists, and a lot of resources available outside. Please do get one that really speaks of your brand. If you're a personal brand, make sure it has your name as your logo. And my gift to you before I go, and that is I will be providing you in the growth hamper a brand audit framework. You don't need me. You just go get this framework, use the checklist, see where your brand stands today, see where you want to take it to the next level, and there's a bonus in it. How to create your own personal brand statement. I have a framework mentioned in this, and you will get this resource in the growth hamper that you will be receiving very, very soon. With this, I would like you to now leap. And how will you lead? You've got to be bold, you've got to be consistent in what you do, and you've got to be truly authentic. And with this, I would like to invite Dipika, who will take over and will share with you how you can imprint your brand on social media. Over to you, Dipika.
Thank you so much, Aarti. That was very insightful. I think for a lot of us, building a brand seems very confusing and very esoteric, particularly if you're a solopreneur or a coach. Even if you're working somewhere, building a brand, putting yourself out there makes it sound very, oh my God, am I showing off? So these are good principles to work by. Thank you so much, Aarti.
Thank you, Dipika.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give all of you 3 tasks, just 3 tasks, which will actually help you elevate your personal brand, right? Now, first tell me in the chat box, how many of you feel building a personal brand is very scary? Putting yourself out there, building content, especially on social media. Tell me yes if you feel it is very, very scary. Putting yourself out there is, oh my God. Okay, I can see a lot of yeses. Yes, I know. I used to feel the same as well. Developing content, putting myself out there, telling people who I am, what I do. Oh my God. But you know what? Over the last few years, I discovered 3 things that have really helped me. And I'm going to share those 3 things with you. So tip number 1, which will also lead to task number 1, is to build a brand story, something that Aarti touched upon. Let me give you an example. Let me share an example with you. You heard Rashmi's introduction about me, how I was in marketing, etc. Now I do this. Every time I have a workshop, a training session, or I meet a client, this is how I introduce myself. Hi, my name is Dipika Singh. I've been in marketing for many, many years, around 15 years. And in 2012, when I was working with Kingfisher Airline and the airline folded up, I really didn't want to make a CV and go look for another job. I wanted to do something of my own. Yes, I had that kira. But like a lot of people, I didn't know what that my own was. But you know what? I loved speaking. As a child in college, I used to do a lot of freelance emceeing, etc. I love being in front of people. I also love learning new things, teaching people new things. I thought, can I combine the 2 and make a career out of it? And I developed a few workshops around what I think is my strength, communication skills, personal branding. And I went to corporates, and that's how my career began. I repeat this every single time. Every time I meet someone, every time I start a training workshop, I repeat this story. What happens after a point of time is that people start recognizing you with this story. People start relating to you, and soon the story starts repeating itself without you being there. For example, every time, you think of the CEO of Sugar, the founder of Sugar, Vinita Singh. We've now seen her all over with Shark Tank, etc. The one thing that I keep hearing is how in IIM Bangalore, she left a 1 crore ka job to become an entrepreneur. That story is traveling by itself. She told a few people it's traveling by itself. Now, I want you to build a brand story. And each of us has a story. Each of us. All of you have a brand story that you can build. I think somebody needs to be muted. Thank you. To build a brand story, you need to answer only 4 questions. Why you started what you do? There could be a story there, right? How did you start what you started? There could be a story there. What is your purpose? Why do you do what you do, right? There could be a story there. A behind the scenes or an achievement, there could be a story there. So this is my task number 1 to you. Over the next couple of weeks, think about a story that you can create for yourself. That becomes your brand story. People start to identify you with that story. Like we now identify, Aarti spoke about Mel Robbins. Her story is that whole 5 second. She was down in the dumps. She couldn't get out of bed. And, then she hit upon the whole 5 second rule. Get out of the bed in 5 seconds or you will not be able to get out. That's a story. Every time you think about Mel Robbins, you think about that story. And she took that story further by writing books, etc. Find your story and then tell people that story consistently all the time. Make that story travel on its own. So that's my task number 1. Over the next couple of weeks, build your brand story. Aarti and I are available on social media. Please come back to us with your brand story. If you want feedback or you want any kind of help, very, very happy to help. But build your brand story that will make you very identifiable. Also, it's a story. Remember, it's not a statement. It's a kahani, because kahanis are relatable. People like stories. People relate to stories. So it's not a statement. I like to do this, which is why I do this. Story. Why? How? So find your brand story. That is my task number 1 to you. Task number 2, is to find your brand attributes. What makes you, 4 or 5 things that makes you identifiable. Why is this important? Because when a client or prospective client thinks about what kind of coach or what kind of person that they're looking for, service provider they're looking for, they should think about you, right? Again, these attributes make you identifiable. They differentiate you and they build a personal brand. Now, whenever I speak or I do a workshop or I create a lot of content, whenever I create content, the one thing that I focus on is making it very relatable, very simple. These are tips that you can follow. All my content. So now, because I consistently try to be relatable, people have now started leaving me comments saying you're very relatable, right? So that's my attribute. As a trainer, as a content creator, I'm very relatable. I have self-deprecating humor, which comes across in everything that I do, right? I like to be well put together. As Rashmi said, I'm not wearing a sari today, but I like to be well put together, right? These have become my attributes. These are things that I try to differentiate, myself. Alok pointed out, he said that, build on your service and don't worry about your pricing. Differentiate your service, add value to your service. A lot of solopreneurs, a lot of coaches, we are the service, right? So how do you differentiate yourself? If a client wants a trainer on communication skills, how have I differentiated myself? What are the 4 things that they will think of and then say, okay, let me hire Dipika, or let me hire, if I want to get branding done, let me hire Aarti, right? So what are your attributes that make you differentiated? Write them down. Whenever I coach people on interview skills, for example, I always tell them that the only time we think about our skills and strengths is when we have to make a CV. Usme bhi we write, skills and strengths that will match the job requirement and not what is, honest about us. We never put down our skills and strengths. What makes you, you? So this is my task number 2 to you. As an entrepreneur, or even as someone who's working 9 to 5, just figure out what are the 4 or 5 things that are your key strengths, your key skills that differentiate you from other people in the industry. Work on those, hone those, tell people about those. I know it's very difficult to put yourself out there and talk about your skills and strengths, but at least make that list. Make that list. In my 3rd tip, I will come to how you will tell the world about your skills and strengths. But my task number 2 is to write down those 4 or 5 things that are key differentiators for you. It doesn't matter. Chota, bada, just think of differentiators. They don't have to be, like really big and, oh my God, I'm the best in what I do. Just what makes you different, right? You understand a client really well. You have a great shoulder to cry on. Whatever makes you different, write that down. So that's task number 2. Task number 3, the most important and also the most difficult, brand visibility. Of course, you will build a website. Of course, you will have social media channels. Website is easy. Website is, everything about you, the work that you do. Social media is tough because it is you yourself. And that's what a personal brand really is, right? Who am I? What do I want to tell the world about me, right? Now, a lot of people think creating motivational content, putting ourselves out there again and again and again is what is a personal brand. It's not. It's not. We can't all be Ankur Variku. I love his work, but he has a team to, put that content out for himself. I can't. But you can be smart about it. You can be really, really smart about it. What do? The first thing, and I'm going to share a recap in the end, a slide in the end, but I just want you to follow what I'm saying right now. The first thing to building brand visibility and brand content is to decide your format. Not every one of us can make videos. We can't, we have difficulty putting ourselves in front of a camera. I mean, when I started creating video content, oh my God, I've had to hide some of my older videos because I sound so terrible in those. But figure out your format, which works for you. Maybe text works for you. Radhika Gupta, the CEO of Edelweiss, she writes excellent text content on, LinkedIn. She doesn't do videos. She doesn't do some carousel posts and, all of that. She just writes text. So impactful. She's today a LinkedIn influencer. She just puts her thoughts around her expertise. I attended an event where she said, I only do two things. I write about finance and I write about being a woman at work. Those are the only two things because those are the two things that I'm an expert at. And entrepreneurship. Of course, she sold her brand. She says, those are the things I know and those are the things I want to build expertise on. So I will build content in text around that, right? So figure out your format. If it is text, very good. If you can do video, excellent. If you want to do pictures or something, very good, right? So first figure out what is the format you're comfortable with. Then figure out the channel. You can't do LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, everything. You will go mad. There will be no time to work. You'll only be creating content and have sleepless nights about, content. We can't all do that. So figure out one or two channels that work for you. And I will give you a tip here. Figure out a channel where your audience is. Yeah. Why are we creating this content? Are we all creators? No. We are creating content because, we want to create more opportunities for ourselves. That's it. That's the reason for building a personal brand. You want to create more opportunities. You want clients to reach out to you. You want clients to know, or you want organizations to know about the work that you do, what is your expertise. So be present where your prospective clients and your audience is present. I have a friend who's a writer and she just writes on Medium because that has become now her CV. And she's now the second most popular female writer, Indian female writer on Medium or something like that. Ananksha Layam. She's also on LinkedIn. So she writes on Medium because, that is her showcase. This is how I write. She doesn't write so much she's not on Insta. She's doing a little bit of YouTube. On LinkedIn and Medium, she writes. That's it, So figure out your channel, the one that works for you based on where your audience is. And then you figure out your content. Now, that's the toughest part. What content should I create? Oh my God. I find that a lot of people find it very difficult. Kya content, get up in the morning and think about what am I going to post today is so tough. I'll give you a simple tip. Talk about your expertise, right? Whatever your expertise, whether it is communication skills, whatever you coach on, you will have content buckets in that. So let me give you my example. I do communication skills, presentation skills, personal branding, So anything that can help you leave impact. Now, these are my buckets. So I will talk about presentation skills. I will talk about communication skills. I will talk about, looking well put together at work. Now, within that, I will have so many topics. And communication skills, I will have how to behave in a meeting, how to speak up in a meeting. In presentation skills, I will have how to start a presentation, what to do if you forget. These are all videos up on my YouTube channel. Figure out your content buckets depending upon your expertise and depending upon what opportunities you want to attract. That's it. You don't all have to be a motivational speaker. I used to think every morning I will get up and write something motivational on LinkedIn. That was not leading me anywhere. Then I realized I need to speak about what is the work that I do. And that has taken me places. My YouTube channel now is full of only this. I get work opportunities only because people see a video on communication skills. The number of presentation skills workshops I've been invited for because I have presentation skills content all over the place is humongous. So look at your expertise. Look at the opportunities you want to create for yourself. Create content buckets on that and then create content there. Then you won't wake up in the morning and think about aaj main kya post karu, because it's very clear for you. That's the clarity, right? The last thing I want to say is build consistency. You don't have to post every day. You don't have to put yourself out every day, but build some kind of rhythm and cadence. If you want to post on LinkedIn, if LinkedIn is where your audience is, if you want to post at least twice a week, but stick to that twice. Don't disappear for 6 months and say, oh, now all my followers have gone away. What do I do now? Suddenly, let me come back and start writing on LinkedIn again. Nahi hoga. It has to be consistent. And it's not tough. If you follow everything that I've told you, if you have your format that you're most comfortable with, if you have your channel, if you have content buckets and content pillars, then building consistency will not be tough, because now this is the opportunity I want to create for myself. So the clarity as far as content is concerned. So this is my task number 3 for you. Go back and write down which is that one format you will create content in, maybe 2, but not more than that. Channel, again, 1 or 2, not more than that, right? And you also then, let me just recap. Let me just share a little recap with you. Okay, I have a problem. If the backup team, yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let me just quickly recap for you. Brand story, right? How you started, why you started, right? What is your purpose? These are the 3 things particularly. So this is my task number 1. Build your brand story. Answer these 3 questions, right? Second thing is brand attributes. What makes you, you? Figure that out. 3 or 4 things that make you differentiated. Figure those 4 things out, write them down. And the last thing is to build brand visibility so that you're able to attract opportunities for yourself. Figure out the format, figure out the channel, figure out your content pillars, figure out your consistency. Once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, every day, but stick to that. Your audience wants to see you. Your audience wants to see you again and again. Only then will they trust you, as Aarti said, and only then will you build some sort of, brand. And not everybody will see your content every day. A lot of times, I used to think, aaj post kiya, kal bhi post kiya, and the same thing now I will post after 1 week. People will think she's gone mad, she's showing off. But the thing is, only 10% of your audience sees every piece of content in any case. So bindas share. Look at Ankur Variku. I always use that example. Look at Ankur. He doesn't care. He just posts, and look at the opportunities that man has created for himself, right? Content can take you places. Building a personal brand. I'm example of that. You type She Means Business Dipika Singh in Google and I will turn up everywhere. Building a personal brand is so important. It does take a little bit of courage to put yourself out there, but trust me, it will really, really pay off. So over the next 2 weeks, do these 3 tasks, reach out to me and Aarti anywhere on any social media channel. We are very happy to provide feedback to you. I'm going to bring Aarti and Rashmi back now. Thank you so much for listening to me. I think I raced through a large part of what I had to say, but happy to take questions. We're all here, provided we have time for questions, in case there are any burning questions about personal branding. Thank you so much for attending the fest. Just one last thing before I end. I love the theme of the fest, Love, Learn, Leap, because I feel that building a personal brand is really about loving yourself. And leaping is really about putting yourself out there. And it will really, really help you. Thank you so much. Aarti and Rashmi.
Hey, Rashmi, can I make a request? Dipika, if you could just bring up the summary slide once again, please.
Can I ask a question, please?
Okay, hand raise and cameras on. Only then the tech team can find you.
Give me a second, please. Yeah.
Can I request the tech team to bring up my slide, please?
Yeah, just
Sure,
doing that,
sure.
Dipika. Give me a second.
Thank you. Sure. This will be shared with you in the handbook that we will send out. I will in any case put this in. Yeah. So brand story, how you started, why you started, what is your purpose, brand attribute, what makes you unique, and finally brand visibility.
Okay.
Take a photo.
But sorry, guys, I think there's no time for questions because we have so many questions and the chat box is buzzing. We actually have lost your questions. So many of you wanting to say so many different things. And we have to move on also. So we will share these questions, these comments with both Dipika and Aarti. And like always, thank you so much for your energy. Thank you so much for just bringing yourselves together here and putting yourselves for us so easily, giving us beautiful inputs and nuggets on what exactly is personal branding and how to show up. Thank you so much, Aarti and Dipika.